Hey guys, OSJ here with the Amiga Movie based games follow-up. I recently went through the 20 best Amiga Movie based games and now it's time to check out the 20 worst. And be pre-warned, some of these are complete and utter crap. The usual suspects are there for motion, but also some new ones that we never saw on the C64 list. These are what I would consider the dregs in the bottom of the barrel, ordered from bad to worst. So without more delay, let's get the show on the road with Predator 2 in 20th place. As with the C64 version, this is an Operation Wolf type game that fails to entertain in any way. While the graphics are better than the C64, they are still not what we would expect from the mighty Amiga, and the lack of gunshot sounds makes the game so boring. Nineteenth position is taken by All Dogs Go to Heaven. This game has good graphics and nice digitised samples from the movie, and that's why it's not higher up on this list. But that's all the good bits. The gameplay is as slow as tortoise crap, and in about 5 minutes it becomes unbearable to play for me.
A good dog down.
18th place is taken by Psycho. This is a game based on the Norman Bates classic, but it's neither scary nor entertaining. In fact, if it wasn't for the laughability factor of how bad this would have been up near the top. It's a bit like it's so bad it's good, but not good if you know what I mean. Anyway, still avoid this like taking a shower in the Bates Motel. Batman Returns takes 17th place. After the success of Batman the movie on pretty much everything it was released on, we probably would have thought that we were going to get another great game, but for some reason Ocean didn't do this one, and instead Konami pushed out what can only be described as the worst Batman game on the system. It's totally boring and even the most avid Batman fans won't find this game entertaining at all. In 16th position we have Cool World. This is a game that sold loads of copies with a sexy box art, only to find that after the intro scene the whole game was a disaster. What little gameplay there is totally ruined by some of the worst controls I've witnessed on the Amiga, so the verdict is load it up for the intro, then throw it away. Fifteenth place is taken by The Running Man. This is the first of 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies on the list, but really there was very little between them. While the graphics aren't too bad, the game mechanics are like they've been designed by a kid and the whole game just feels disjointed. Red Heat takes 14th place. Yes, we all knew this would be on here. This game was renowned for being bad. Again, the graphics aren't the worst, but as you can see the game just looks so dull and brown. The gameplay is repetitive and boring, and you will be sick of playing it within 5 minutes, especially with that horrible music that simply doesn't go with the game. In 13th place is Dennis. This is based on the movie starring Walter Matthau as Mr. Wilson. Although I wasn't a big fan of the movie, I could still watch it, but this game is simply a substandard platform on a system that had so many good ones, so there was no excuse for how boring this gets in no time at all. 12th position is taken by Last Action Hero, the worst of the only movie games here, and this is by Psygnosis, which surprises me as they were renowned for good games. But what's more surprising is that this is the first of 3 Psygnosis games on this list. Anyway, this is a rubbish beat 'em up that is loosely based on a terrible movie, which is a recipe for disaster. Judge Dredd is in 11th place. This is a diabolical game that represents Judge Dredd in graphics only, as the gameplay is more like driving Miss Daisy. Whoever signed this off for sale should have had the judge's treatment and been executed. In 10th place is Moonwalker. This is much like the C64 game for style, which is a real shame as I think the Amiga could have pulled off something similar to the classic arcade game. I just don't know why they would do this with the Amiga while knocking out great versions on the Mega Drive and even on the Master System. Ninth position is taken by Jaws, a computer game. This is the loosest tie-in on the list, as after the title screen and a few cutscenes in the game, it's apparent that we have been sold a badly made Cybernaut type game that just oozes crapness. Avoid this game like you were being chased off a great white shark. Days of Thunder takes 8th place. Now the Amiga had some great racing games, so this really should have been a walk in the park for Mindscape. When you think of how good Stunt Car Racer is, you would think that developing a good game that has to race round an oval would have been more manageable, but sadly this game fails in every department. In 7th place is Bram Stoker's Dracula. I never played this back in the day, but I was trawling through my Amiga ROMs looking at screenshots and this caught my eye. It looked great, but when I loaded up I remembered why screenshots should never be why you bought games. This is right up there with Rise of the Robots for looking great but playing like an absolute dog. Sixth position is taken by Willow. Now I said it with the C64 version that it was one of the most boring games I've ever played, and this one, whilst looking sharper, is almost identical, and a waste of such a great opportunity to make a game on par with the awesome arcade classic. Beverly Hills Cop takes 5th place. I absolutely love Beverly Hills Cop. I think it's probably Eddie Murphy's best film, but the game is an abomination. It is like a first year's college project, and one that will be lucky to get the pass. It's such a shame as the movie had all the recipes to be converted into a great game. The title music is okay though, but that's it. In 4th place is Tracy. Again, when we look at what Sega did with Dick Tracy on the Mega Drive, there is no excuse for how crap this game is. I mean, let's get started with the scrolling. Why on earth would they have flip scrolling on an Amiga platform shooter? To me, it's like a badly done reskinned version of RoboCop, and the music is enough to make your ears bleed. Third position is taken by Cliffhanger. Classic Stallone movie absolutely butchered by Psygnosis. Nothing about this game screams Psygnosis. At least with Dracula it looked good, but this isn't as good as some public domain games, and the gameplay is terrible. Jumps need to be made pinpoint to make, and the worst thing is, miss the jump and go back to the start. Akira is in second place. This is a truly terrible game based on the awesome anime movie. From the off you think you're getting into something good with the intro, but then the game starts and that's when all hope of having some fun ends. This game is so bad it appears at the top of many people's worst Amiga games lists. And now, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, we have Surf Ninjas in first place. It's hard to believe that this game ever got released, it's so bad. The graphics, scrolling and gameplay are all equally rubbish. And for me, this game would not only be a contender for worst movie based game, but worst game on the system, full stop. Okay, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what your worst movie based game memories were. And if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like my stuff. Till next time, this is OSG signing out.